Imagine floating alone in the freezing, absolute emptiness of deep space. You are staring down the most terrifying and misunderstood monster in the cosmos. It is a region where the fabric of reality itself breaks completely down. A black hole is not an empty void, but an overwhelming concentration of matter. Gravity here is so impossibly strong that absolutely nothing can escape its deadly grip. Even light, the fastest thing in the universe, is permanently trapped within its shadows. Today, we are going to take you on a journey from which no one has ever returned. We're going to find out what truly happens when you fall inside. Before we even get close, you will notice a glowing, violent ring of fire. This is the accretion disk, a chaotic whirlpool of gas, dust, and shredded stars. Matter here orbits at nearly the speed of light, generating unimaginable friction and heat. It burns millions of degrees hotter than the core of our own sun. You will need a highly advanced, heavily shielded spacecraft just to survive this initial approach. Lethal doses of X-rays and gamma radiation are blasting outward in every single direction. As you push closer, the background stars begin to warp and stretch in bizarre ways. The black hole is bending the light around it, creating a perfect cosmic funhouse mirror. You are looking at gravitational lensing, a visual phenomenon that completely messes with your brain. You can actually see the back of the black hole while looking directly at its front. Light paths are so severely twisted that the universe seems to wrap entirely around the darkness. You might even see multiple distorted reflections of the exact same glowing star. The black sphere in the center is getting larger and more menacing with every passing second. This is the shadow of the event horizon, the absolute ultimate point of no return. Once you cross that invisible boundary, your fate is permanently sealed forever. You will instantly become a permanent part of the black hole's ever-growing mass. But before you cross, something profoundly strange happens to the flow of time itself. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, massive objects significantly slow down time for those close to them. If you left a friend safely behind on a space station, they would see something horrifying. As you approach the darkness, your spacecraft appears to move slower and slower. To them, your movements become incredibly sluggish, as if you are swimming through thick molasses. The light from your ship shifts toward the red end of the spectrum, slowly fading away into nothingness. Your friend will never actually see you cross the infamous event horizon. From their perspective, your frozen, ghostly image will hover there for the rest of eternity. However, your own personal experience is going to be completely and radically different. For you, time feels absolutely normal as you plunge toward the massive black sphere. If you look at your watch, the second hand ticks away just like it does on Earth. But if you look back out at the universe, the exact opposite effect is unfolding before your eyes. You are watching the rest of the cosmos age at a blindingly fast rate. Galaxies collide, stars are born, and entire advanced civilizations rise and fall in mere moments. You are essentially watching the entire future of the universe play out in rapid fast forward. By the time you finally reach the edge, billions of years have already passed on the outside. Now you are hovering exactly on the razor edge of the event horizon. This is the ultimate cosmic trapdoor where all possible escape routes permanently cease to exist. You slip through the boundary without feeling any physical bump or sudden cosmic barrier. The transition is completely smooth, yet mathematically, it seals your undeniable doom. Once inside, turning around to fly back out is no longer a physical possibility in physics. Space and time have dramatically swapped their fundamental properties and their natural roles. In our normal world, you can move in any direction, but you must always move forward in time. Inside a black hole, you can no longer stop yourself from falling toward the absolute center. Moving toward the center has literally become your new future, as inevitable as tomorrow morning. Every single direction you attempt to turn your ship only leads you deeper into the total darkness. Behind you, the familiar view of the universe begins to shrink into a tiny, intensely bright halo. All the glorious light from the outside is being compressed into a singular, piercing cosmic beam. The darkness surrounds you completely, feeling suffocating and silent in the cold vacuum of the ship. You are now a lonely prisoner, falling freely in a universe completely isolated from our own. For a brief moment, you might actually feel a strange, weightless sense of absolute peace. But that calm is a terrifying lie, because the true physical horror is just about to begin. You are approaching a supermassive black hole, which actually gives you some temporary borrowed time. Because it is so unimaginably massive, the gravity at the horizon is surprisingly gentle on your ship. But as you fall deeper toward the core, the gravitational gradient becomes incredibly steep and violent. The force pulling on your feet is now vastly stronger than the force pulling on your head. This difference in gravity creates tidal forces that violently stretch your entire ship in two directions. Your heavily armored spacecraft groans loudly and begins to warp under the crushing, relentless tension. Before long, the thick metal tears apart like wet paper, exposing you to the deadly outer vacuum. Now those exact same extreme tidal forces are going to directly target your own fragile body. You are being stretched vertically while simultaneously being aggressively squeezed from the sides. Scientists have given this grotesque and deeply painful process the amusing name of spaghettification. First, your legs are violently pulled away from your torso with completely unstoppable strength. Your bones snap and your muscles tear as your physical form is elongated beyond any human recognition. You are quickly pulled into a thin, bloody ribbon of shattered flesh and scattered cosmic atoms. The sheer pain, if you could even process it in time, would be completely unimaginable to anyone. But this brutal stretching does not just stop with your macroscopic physical body. It relentlessly continues down to the fundamental building blocks of your very own human existence. Your individual molecules are forcefully ripped apart into isolated, aggressively drifting atoms. Then, the immense gravity violently strips the spinning electrons away from your dense atomic nuclei. Even the tightly bound protons and neutrons themselves are eventually shredded into raw fundamental energy. You are no longer a human being, but merely a scattered stream of disconnected subatomic particles. You are racing toward the exact center of the black hole at terrifying, incomprehensible speeds. You are about to intimately meet the singularity, the greatest unsolved mystery in modern astrophysics. At the singularity, an entire star's worth of mass is brutally crushed into an infinitely small point. The density here is completely infinite, and gravity reaches a level that breaks all known human mathematics. General relativity, the legendary theory that perfectly predicted black holes, fails completely at this exact location. The standard equations simply spit out infinity, which is a scientist's polite way of saying they have absolutely no idea. Space and time as we currently understand them completely cease to exist at this microscopic dot. Your raw stream of particles merges directly with this incredibly dense, chaotic point of pure destruction. Are your atoms destroyed forever, erasing your unique biological information from the universe completely? This disturbing question creates the famous black hole information paradox, a massive and ongoing crisis in physics. Quantum mechanics strictly dictates that fundamental information in the universe can never be permanently lost or destroyed. Yet the black hole seems to effortlessly delete absolutely everything it ever manages to consume. Some physicists genuinely believe your information never actually made it inside the black hole at all. They propose it was quietly left behind, permanently smeared across the two-dimensional surface of the event horizon. This means the three-dimensional version of you falling inside might just be a bizarre, holographic projection. Everything that makes you who you are is encoded on the outside barrier, like digital data on a hard drive. Other radical theories boldly suggest the singularity is not an end, but rather a hidden cosmic doorway. The incredible density might physically puncture a massive hole straight through the fundamental fabric of space-time. This phenomenon creates a theoretical wormhole, a deep cosmic tunnel connecting to an entirely different universe. The matter swallowed by the black hole could be aggressively spewed out somewhere else entirely. On the other side, this cosmic fountain is known mathematically as a brilliant white hole. A white hole is a theoretical object that you can never actually enter, only violently exit. You would be blasted out into a completely new, parallel universe, completely unlike our own reality. You could also theoretically be transported backward to a completely different era in our own universe's ancient past. Some brilliant scientists even speculate that our very own universe was born from such an incredible event. The Big Bang itself perfectly mirrors the exact mathematical description of a supermassive white hole expelling matter. Could it truly be that we are currently living inside a gigantic, expanding black hole right now? We may never actually know for sure, because escaping our own universe is just as scientifically impossible. The undeniable truth is that falling into a black hole remains the ultimate one-way trip in nature. It is a lonely journey that promises unimaginable cosmic wonders, terrifying visual distortions, and absolutely certain physical death. You simply become part of a massive cosmic enigma that has puzzled the brightest minds for many generations. The black hole simply sits there in the dark void, utterly silent, waiting patiently for its next meal. It will easily outlive every star, every planet, and every single advanced civilization that will ever exist. Trillions of years from now, when the dying universe goes completely dark, only these black monsters will remain. Eventually, even they will evaporate into absolute nothingness through a very slow process called Hawking radiation. Until then, they remain the most beautiful, destructive, and terrifying mysteries in the vast, unforgiving cosmos.